Hey, we're chicken folks, it's Charles over here. And in this video I'm wearing my sunglasses because, well, to be honest, there's too many bright people out there that it's blinding me. I have to put on these sunglasses when I go out now because there's too many of you that are so bright and informed and know what you're talking about. It's amazing. I wish that was true. I truly wish that was the truth, but the fact is that here in Canada, United States, no, there's too many people out there that don't know what they're talking about. They don't even know themselves, first of all. And they go around talking and regurgitating all sorts of nonsense, specifically from, the mainstream media and from government sources and things like that. They like to believe instead of knowing things. There's a big difference, and you try explaining this to some of these people and they just don't get the difference between knowing and believing. They think that they're both one and the same. Same thing as you talk to them about law, what's lawful and what's legal, they think it's the same thing. It's not. Do some research. And that's the thing is, I've done quite a bit of research. I learned about etymology, about root language, about laws, the universal and natural laws, which all laws are pretty much based out of. And I like to share that with my brothers and sisters, but I get a lot of resistance. Why? Well, because, I understand where it comes from, is that when you don't know something and someone brings it up and then you can't really add anything to it, well, instead of looking dumb or feeling like you're going to be looked at as being dumb, it's a lot easier to just resist and attack and, just push the person away. And that's the thing, is that, we live in a society now that people, they're really not informed and are afraid to be looked at as being uninformed or stupid or dumb or whatever, which, listen, that's how you learn. That's how you grow. You need to talk with other people and reach out and do some searching and some researching and read and look at different sources from different, sources of information. Now, one of the biggest things that's helped me on my path is learning about myself, learning about how to take care of my health, learning about how the emotions work and your psychology, learning about the brain and the two hemispheres, and learning about how the heart works and your spine and how the organs, they all kind of, why do you call it organizations? Well, it comes from the word organs, is how the organs, if they're disorganized, then you're unhealthy and there's going to be problems, right? So that's why it's called organizations, is that if these organizations are in harmony and work well together, then there's going to be prosperity and there's going to be success, and the solutions are going to substantiate themselves, as compared to if they're disorganized, there's going to be health problems, right? Your body, if let's say your posture is not very well, very, very good, then of course, your organs are not in the right place, and then there's, maybe some communications not being made properly, the nervous system is not sending all the, the information properly, and so therefore there's problems, and health and disease problems will arise, right? And so that's what's happening in our society, is most people are not organized, they're not in tune with the realities of what's happening. They don't even know about the histories of our governments, and they think that our government, the people that we're going to vote for, like Trudeau and Harper and Mulcair and these guys, are actually going to bring up any kind of substantial solutions, when these what's going on in our society, and then they dismiss you. They just, you talk about the bank, about, well, hey, we need money, the Bank of Canada needs to not be privately owned anymore, and it needs to go back to the people, and printing money for the people, by the people, interest free. I mean, just like it used to be back in the 1930s all the way to the 1970s, until Pierre Trudeau, sold us out to the bankers, right? And so now here we are, $700 billion in debt, and having all these problems, and they're talking about economic reform and how there's inequality in the classes, and the middle class and the poor and the rich and all that stuff. Well, these problems are not going to be addressed if you keep allowing the bankers all the power and printing money and charging us interest. It's just not going to have any kind of substantial solutions. And let's face it, what is our economy? What does it mean? Economy, eco meaning the ecosystem, the environment. That's what it means. Economy, to economize, to conserve and preserve our ecosystem, our land. by, respecting the water, the land, the trees, the birds, the air, all these things. That's crucial to our survival. If we overlook that and put the economy and replace actually the idea of economy with the monetary system and replace it, well, we're not doing the right thing. We're not being true to ourselves, and anything that is founded on lies or illusions will not prevail, will not continue until people start seeing it for what it is, and then it starts crumbling. It's never been there in the first place, right? So I'm encouraging a lot of you people to really get involved here, because there's more to life than drinking beer and watching hockey and escaping your reality. Because I know the reality sucks here. A lot of you don't like the fact that we have to pay taxes. We all know our politicians are criminals. They're never accountable for their actions or inactions. They tell us, they lie to us through their campaigns. There's a lot of this money being propagated and generated for them to go around and talk and be public speakers and inspire people, and then they tell us they're going to do this, and then once elected, boom, they do the opposite. And then we say, oh, well, I guess we'll just wait 4 years until the next one. Oh, there's another guy, he's for the people. But no, these people are not for the people. They're actually put there by foreign interests, by people that are actually not even living here. They're just here to exploit us, because we are the biggest resource. Let's face it, folks, more than oil, more than water, more than anything else out here, their most precious resource is their manipulation of us. We're the biggest resource. We are the ones that make the world go round. Is our actions and our energy is what builds infrastructures, that builds highways and trainways and airports and communication systems. We're the ones that build the cars and build the homes and all that kind of stuff. We, the people, are the most important resource, and the best way to manipulate that resource is keeping us in ignorance, of not knowing what's really going on, keeping us confused. This whole red versus blue, left versus right. I mean, look into what that means. It's all psychology. It's all about getting us to conflict within ourselves, our intellect conflicting with our intuition, instead of harmonizing together and getting the information and the creativity to bring together and therefore manifest and materialize substantial solutions. So it's kind of aggravating at times, because there's a lot of people out there that are trying to inspire people and bring it out, but they just get attacked. They always get attacked and bullied. And Harper is one of the biggest guys. He's a bully, and people fail to see that. I can see why. It's because they don't know any better. They just go by what the mainstream media is talking about. They trust their government. They give their credibility so easily to these people that are actually counterproductive to this world. And so I'm asking you people to get inspired, get motivated to do some research and get involved, instead of trying to escape life. It's like, yeah, I know the week is tough sometimes, and you have kids to feed, and you have to pay your taxes and pay your bills, and it can really wear you down. I know. But see, if you're keeping up with these illusions, like, I mean, I'm not saying that your kids are illusions or anything like that, but I'm saying about, bills and taxes are not as important as taking care of the environment and taking care of each other and concentrating on the real substantial things that allow us to live and allow us to continue. We can't replace those very important things with illusions, because when we do that, it's detrimental. Okay, so get involved. One of the biggest things I can recommend is get healthy. Okay, like, start eating properly. Make the effort to become less of a consumer, over consumer. Eating in restaurants, never mind that. Okay, stop going out to restaurants. Stop buying prepackaged foods. Start gardening. Start getting involved with the natural again, because we're so far away from the natural, and that's why we are diseased. We have a disease of the mind, of the body, and the soul, because we've walked away from the natural. And if you look at the native people, the First Nations here in Canada, they have a very good understanding of all of this. They've known this for a long time, and there's a reason why the government of Canada and the churches committed mass genocide and crimes against these people, because they knew how to harmonize and come up with the substantial solutions. I mean, do you ever hear about the Six Nations? This is actually the longest standing participatory democracy in the world. Okay, and these people know how to harmonize and help each other out, and they're making it hard for them. They're segregating the First Nations people here in North America by putting them on reserves and not even, paying attention to them. Like, I mean, there's big idle movement, idle no more movement that didn't really get much press. Even about the indigenous women that went missing. The government is complicit in keeping this suppressed, this information suppressed. Why? Because they are in fact they are the criminals. It's not a real legitimate government here. They're a de facto illegitimate government that is illegitimate but in effect. And Prime Minister Harper is not essentially the ruler of this this country. The Governor General calls the shots and is the Queen of England, and then through that it goes to the Vatican, and through the Vatican all the way to Switzerland. I mean, do your research, folks. All the symbols, everything's there for you to know this. And once you realize what's happening, you're going to get angry. You will. I guarantee you are going to get angry, and you're going to want to really hold these people accountable. Some of you are probably going to want to resort to violence. You're going to lash out and stuff. I strongly recommend that you don't. Okay, I've been through it. It's not the solution. We need to unite, not divide ourselves, but unite, come together with the substantial solutions. Learn about natural and universal laws. Learn about how important it is to take care of our environment, and that should be the pillars that we base our society on, is that we know that if our environment suffers, we in fact suffer. So let's stop, kidding ourselves. Let's stop living in ignorance. Let's stop all the nonsense of believing in these corporations just because they have all this money and power and influence over our media, over the advertisement firms, to put out these fancy logos and slogans and colors and little jingles out there to kind of get us on board to go and consume and buy their products, which are actually detrimental to our health, to the environment. Okay. So that's all I wanted to share with you. I love you guys very much. I love the world. I love people. I think we are very powerful beings. And the day that we start realizing this and start working on ourselves and making the effort, I think that's when we'll know peace. We'll know harmony. We'll know about how to truly live on this planet in the way that God intended us to. Okay? Thank you for listening. One love to all my brothers and sisters. May we prevail in the truth. Thank you.